I think we're live. Chat, are we live? Let's see here. It says we're live. Yep, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream. And that is right, we are live on this beautiful March 11th, 2026. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And it's just me today. So, yeah, hello, everybody. So, we have a lot to talk about with the primaries and special elections last night. There's a lot to go through. Kind of a, it wasn't as big of a primary as say Texas or whatever, obviously, but still there were some fascinating results we saw last night. So we have a lot to talk about. And before we get into today's stream, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, to join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And if you do have any questions or concerns or want to support the channel even further, the best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I'll read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. So, yeah, send super chats, join the channel, all that good stuff. Puerto Rico has been a member for 11 months. Thoughts on the New York governor race? I think Hochul will. Pr- I would assume she does slightly better than she did in 22, but that's about it. So that's my current take right now. They'll do slightly better than they did in 22, or Hochul will. So, yeah. Alex Ledbetter for 2. Flat Stanley's the new supreme leader. That's real. I find it funny though that they actually just like brought up a cardboard cutout. That was just stupid. Absolutely stupid. They actually did that, but that just proof he's dead. The supreme leader's dead. There's no way he's alive. Okay, maybe he could be alive, but he's in a coma in that scenario. So, all right. So, a lot to talk about. And I guess we could start with the Will Stancil's. Oh gosh. Well, I guess we gotta join VC because Will Stancil is here.
What's going on? I'm only popping in for a minute, but I thought I'd say hi. And real quickly, I just wanted to point something out. Virginia, that early vote is
Yeah,
looking fucking pretty good.
I was gonna get to that,
That's
but yeah.
Can we just talk about that now? Because that's the
Yeah,
thing
yeah, let me pull this up. So yeah, Virginia, for those that don't know, or everybody knows this, early voting has begun in Virginia, and
they begin like absurdly early.
yeah.
That's what I'll
And
say.
let's just say that it's can you pull up the tweet by any chance, or who posted it?
Give me a sec. Check out Early Vote Nerd or E-Day. What's his name?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. Uh
Yeah, the dog PFP guy.
Early vote. I think it's early vote data.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, yeah, let me pull this up. So we'll get to the other stuff in a second, but the early voting has begun in the state of, or the Commonwealth of Virginia. And to say it looks awful for Democrats would be an understatement. Again, this is early voting. Okay. This is early voting. You have to be careful with it. But yeah,
But
look
again,
at
we
this.
saw back in 2025 how terrible it was this early on. It was pretty clear.
It was bad.
And
Yeah.
now you're seeing Republican counties are overrunning everywhere.
Yeah.
They're all overrunning, and Democratic counties are all underrunning.
Yeah, so like a good example is District 9, which is the most Republican district in the Commonwealth. That alone has 5,381 votes. Okay. For
Yeah.
comparison, the 3 most Democrat districts, the 3rd, the 11th, and the 8th, that's about 7,000 for the 3 most Democrat seats. So one district has just as many as the 3 most Democrat ones. What does that
Hmm.
tell you? And that does not include
They're pissed
this.
off.
Yeah,
Republicans are pissed off, and we're voting, or they're
that
voting
does
in
not include the
Virginia.
1st district, the 6th, the 5th, the 2nd, which is way more competitive. So look at that.
So again, if Republicans keep this up and independents go the way, because there was that one poll conducted had it failing by 8, and it was because of independents. So if that independent number's right and you get turnout good, there's a chance this could fail. So
I
again,
think, if this keeps up, the whole point is just getting your people to vote. Because the thing with Democrats and these type of referendums is I think Democrats overplayed their hand like the last couple weeks. In Virginia, they went way too far in some policies, and even the redistricting stuff. The looks of it is just awful because at least with California, you get like 4 or 5 Republican seats. At least that's better than one. But here it's like you're just screwing over a bunch of people across the entire state. So
Also, the no side got a $4 million donation yesterday,
yeah, I saw
which
that.
I should add is more than the California no side got in the entire campaign, despite Kevin McCarthy pledging to raise over $100 million.
Yeah, fuck McCarthy.
They,
He fucked us there big time.
but yeah, the Republicans are at least putting some effort into this, and so far it looks like it's paying off. So again, you live in Virginia, get out and vote. Ideally early, but if you want to wait till election day, just make sure you vote. That's what we
Rap,
got
we
to
saw
do.
the same thing happen in Virginia. No, that's false. That is completely
No, that's
false.
not.
I
No,
can pull
because
this up.
this is comparing to last year.
Yeah, let me pull up
And
early vote data for that.
not a single Democrat area is overrunning 2025, but most of the Republican areas are. And it's not even close in most of them.
That is like what happened in 2025 was a disaster. But hold on, let me pull this up. Virginia early voting. Alex Ledbetter for 2. Republicans only vote when Democrats piss them off. Yeah, you're not wrong. Alex Ledbetter. Oh, right there, righty. Shit. Camera full got for 2. Thoughts the Iran school strike were we involved? I have no clue, to be honest. Honestly, I don't know.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was probably Israel.
Who knows?
They
Based on what I saw, some of the images, I don't think it was our missile. It was not a Tomahawk, so we'll see, I guess. But yeah, so right here,
either Iran doing a false flag or Israel. One of those two. It probably wasn't us. Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, so I got the early voting for the compared to 2025, and the areas in green are turning out way more, and the ones in purple, they're not voting. Do you notice a trend here? Notice who's not voting? Democrats. And look who is voting. Republicans.
Interesting one's Virginia Beach, because that's like a swing county and it's skyrocketing. But again, Virginia Beach, Republican voters tend to be more high propensity there. So I think Virginia Beach will probably vote no on the referendum. So I'd assume that's pretty good.
I can't believe it. I think there's a chance here. I seriously think there's a chance.
Don't get complacent, but everyone get out. Get out. It's possible. Anything can happen.
And by the way, like I'm waiting for the referendum to fail or pass, and then we go back to the predictions. Because the Virginia one, in my opinion, will decide the House. At least partially. So, because if the map stays, it does not get replaced, that is a big blow for Dems. Because Republicans still got Florida in the background.
Yeah, this map is just so blatantly partisan in a way that, like, not even California was. Like,
look, in California, at least they gave them 5 seats. And it's not like they've, you can argue they fucked over the northern half of the state, kind of. But outside of that, they didn't really fuck anybody over. When you think about it.
Also, I'll say that Louise Lucas is like a fucking, like, she is a terrible, like, person that how do I put this? She has like negative optics for this entire thing, because when you're going around telling Democrats to sit in the cuck chair if they don't want to draw out every Republican, like that's not good messaging, and that's being talked about probably not nationally, but in local media definitely. So people see her as like some unhinged moron, which she is.
Yeah, she's nuts. She's absolutely crazy. She should not be the Senate Majority Leader, but she is. So, Tristan for 5. If people are truly fed up with Spanberger Democrats already, Youngkin should consider getting the Senate race. I agree. But
did the filing deadline pass? Or?
I don't know.
The coolest thing would be it ends up failing and then Youngkin jumps into the Senate race.
He should. Because, guys, I have a weird feeling about Virginia now. I have a weird... I really think what happened last year was a fluke. That's my take.
Again, you got to remember this, too. You got to remember what happened in 2017... no, it was 2019. You saw all those, like, super strict gun laws by Ralph Northam. And 2 years later, you saw... Republicans flip the government.
That's Virginia. There's always backlash, one way or the other. That's just Virginia. It's always been like that, or lately it has. So
yeah. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. But it was good being on. Adios.
Yeah. American Nerd for 2 is Virginia having buyer's remorse. I think that's feeling a good part of this. People are realizing these people are fucking crazy. And you don't want to give them more power. I'm telling everybody this right now. I really think there's a chance this fails. I still think it's favored to pass, but I don't know. This is not good. It could still pass. Absolutely. I think it will. But Democrats overplay their hand, but the GOP refuses to fucking capitalize. Well, yeah, that's the GOP. That's always been the problem. This is a gimme. Just demonstrate the whole country what's going on in Virginia. Because these people are just crazy. Absolutely batshit crazy. They should have no form of power anywhere, let alone in a state like Virginia. And here's an updated map, by the way, for the turnout. So the darker areas means more people are voting. And it's clear the Republican areas are voting. Democrat areas, they're saying, fuck you. This map right here should give Republicans hope. I'm not saying it's a guarantee it's going to pass or fail, but Democrats, I really think they overplay their hand here. I really think so. Right now. Could that change? Sure. Because look at Fairfax, or not just Fairfax, but look at Nova. They're not voting. Look at my Virginia Beach. The Republican areas are voting. Democrats, they're not. This is not good for Dems at all. This is awful for them. Absolutely horrendous if this keeps up. Because at this point, there are more Republicans voting than Democrats right now in Virginia in the early vote. That is awful for them. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess Mark Warner's too popular. I get that, but like, young kid's got to run for something. He's clearly the only one that can win statewide at this point. Let's see. The GOP should showcase the state of Virginia, the reasons why not to vote for Democrats. Yeah. We're not even exaggerating with some of the stuff they're proposing. In fact, let me pull up one of the things that just passed. And it demonstrates to everybody how crazy these people are. And this is Virginia. This is not even like California or anything. We're talking about a state that, yeah, voted for Harris by 5 points. Look at this. This is real, by the way. Virginia Democrats just passed a bill banning the hand counting of ballots. Yeah. Look at this. This is not even a joke. You read what it says. This is the official summary. Requires ballot scanner machines to use to count machine readable ballots and prohibits such ballots from being counted by hand unless a ballot scanner machine is inoperative, blah, blah, blah. So basically, it is illegal to count the votes by hand unless everything falls apart and breaks. Yeah. This is the shit they just passed. They're passing stuff to get rid of old, like you could legalize old crime. And you could do anything. You could kill somebody. It's crazy what's going on here. This is one bill. There are hundreds of crazy bills being pushed through. And they have a 2-seat majority in the state Senate. Congratulations. American Nerd for 2. If Youngkin runs for Senate, who runs for governor at 29? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, let me get the other stuff they're proposing. Let me pull it up. Virginia Democrats. It is just wild. Yeah, they just passed assault weapons ban. Right here. This is just a couple days ago. Virginia Democrats have passed a bill that eliminates an existing rule that requiring secured cash bail for anyone who has been convicted of a prior felony, is on probation or parole, or is already out on bond for a different crime. Yeah. So they're removing a rule that requires cash bail for those that commit a crime or many. So basically, you can get off scot-free if you commit a crime. Even if you committed a felony beforehand, nope, you get off scot-free. This is Virginia right now. How can anyone defend this? America noted for 2. When is the midterms for the Virginia legislature? It's odd years. So 2027. Yeah, they can't be held in jail. Anyone that's committed any crime, no matter if it's a felony, if it's whatever it is, they cannot hold you on bail. That's the law they're repealing. How can anyone vote for this? I don't like the Republican Party. I think they suck. But there's no reason to say, yes, let's vote Democrat because let's give these people power. Can you imagine if Democrats take power in the Senate and the House and God help us all, the presidency? Can you imagine that for a minute? What they would do with a trifecta? You don't got Cinema or Mansion anymore. They're the only ones that stopped the filibuster from being nuked. You know what would happen? They would nuke the filibuster. They would ram through amnesty. They would ban any election security. Everything's a scam. They would ban guns. They would go after freedom of speech, everything. Well, yeah, let's give these people power. It's just stupid. Absolutely insane. I mean, like, this is not even a joke. We're not even exaggerating here. Look at the assault weapon ban in Virginia. Let me pull that one up also. Let's see. Yeah. Let me find this. This is not a joke. In a past committee, it already passed the state Senate, I think. They voted out of committee a bill that would ban any assault weapon. In Virginia's code, an assault weapon is defined as any semi-automatic center fire rifle or pistol that expels single or multiple projectiles. The bill makes it a class 1 misdemeanor to possess or sell an assault weapon under the definition, as well as any magazine that holds over 10 rounds. Most firearms fit under this definition. If signed into law, it would turn millions of law-abiding gun owners in Virginia into felons with a stroke of a pen. Yeah, let's give these people power. Sure. And you look at the video of the guy trying to explain the bill. He does not know what he's talking about. He really thinks any gun is an assault weapon. It is just crazy. Yeah, this is what Virginia gets for sticking it to Trump. I mean, yeah. Yeah, let's ban basically every gun because reasons. They tried the same shit in 2019. Somehow it's even more radical now. And it blew up in their face in 21. So don't let people fool you. Democrats will do this nationwide. They get a 2-seat majority in the state Senate there, and of course the state legislature, a bigger one. But seriously, it's just wild. Yeah, new taxes, gun control, more abortion, going after freedom of speech. Yeah, guys, you may not like the GOP, but do you really think this is a better alternative? What can anyone name anything Democrats are better on than Republicans at this point? Name one, or I should say 2 things. Name 2 things Democrats are better on. I can't name a single thing, not one. I'm talking about a major thing, not some obscure issue that 0.1% of people care about. No, of the major issues, freedom of speech, guns, the economy, inflation, all this stuff, immigration, crime. Name one issue they're better on. Line to their base. I mean, not really. They kind of tell people what they're going to do, but then they go even more radical. So this is crazy. Yeah, look at Washington State. Hell, after they passed that bill, all the rich people are leaving Washington. So they just fucked themselves over. All those companies are leaving. There's nothing you get for voting Democrat except the worst case scenario and everything. The number one issue is power. Democrats are better on realizing and using power. Oh, I agree. I 100% agree with that. Republicans like suck with that. And that's the issue. They get power. They could get a super majority in both chambers and they couldn't pass anything. But Democrats, they get a 1-seat majority in both chambers. They ran through the most radical policies possible. That's the truth in it. Yeah, it's wild. Rap, you don't have to convince me to vote Republican. Well, I'm just trying to remind people like you may not like the GOP. I don't. But which side is going to do this shit? Republicans are useless. They are getting slightly better on some fronts. But Democrats, it's like Virginia is just the speed run of what they're going to do nationally. That's the testing. That's testing grounds. What they're going to do everywhere else. The GOP needs a spine. Yeah. 100% agree. They need a spine. That's half the problem. They don't got one. All right. So enough of that. It's crazy. What's going on in Virginia? I just wanted to bring that up because early voting looks very good for us. I think there's backlash brewing for Dems. Maybe not enough to win the referendum, but it might be enough to make Democrats realize, oh, you can go too far. You could go way too far. So, with that out of the way, I do think we got to talk about the primaries that occurred last night, namely Georgia's 14th, because, of course, the same people are talking about, oh, the Democrats, they overperformed, they're going to win, and everybody's highlighting the fact that Clayton Fuller took second, and Sean Harris, the Democrat, took first. Yes, the Democrat took first place in a primary. But again, everybody's ignoring the fact that how many Republicans ran? Oh, like 20. Like 20 Republicans ran, only 3 Democrats ran. The Democrats got I think it was 39% of the vote combined. So they still did not crack 40% of the vote. They still did not crack 40. And Sean Harris, back in 2024, ran for this seat. Okay? He got around 35% of the vote against the incumbent. And I know MTG was a weaker candidate. We all know this. But still, he had name recognition. He ran for the seat already. He has campaign infrastructure. And he still only slightly overperformed his results back in 24. And this was with very bad turnout. Like, look at this. 115,000 votes. In 2024, Sean Harris himself got 134,000 votes. In total, there was 380,000 in this one seat. Yeah. That's the turnout in this district. It was so shitty. Sean Harris in 24 got more votes than people that voted. So, again, already you could tell this is very low turnout. Nobody voted. That's clear as day. It's clear as day that nobody voted. And if this was a regular turnout election, Sean Harris would have gotten crushed. Because everybody knows this by now. Democrats are the party of high propensity voters. They vote in every single election. No matter what it is, it can be the most random election ever. They all vote. That's why these special elections, they're misleading. But even then, Harris did only slightly better than his 24 showing. And what is supposed to be a historical blue wave when he ran for the seat already, and I believe, if I pull this up, he actually outspent everybody. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. He outspent everybody. Look at that. I'm not even exaggerating. Look at this. He spent $4 million on this random ass special election. All the other Republicans combined for maybe 1.5 million, or excuse me, a bit more than that, just under 2 million total. This one Democrat wasted $4 million. He had a 2-to-1 advantage, and he still only slightly overperformed. What does this tell you? It's clear that they spent all this money and they still couldn't crack 40 here. I mean, like, what? I don't get why people are celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, you overperformed 2024, but you should have done way better. If you want to really go down that route, you should have done way better because you outspent everybody by a crazy margin, and you still got a slight plurality with no other major Democrat in the race. Unbelievable that some people are really pushing the idea. Guys, this is a DEFCON 1 disaster. Is it bad? Sure. I think Republicans still have a clear problem. They have a clear problem where their voters still don't vote in these special elections, and even not specials, they still don't vote in them. That's a significant problem. We still got to deal with that, sure. But this isn't as bad as some people are claiming it was. Because Sean Harris only did 2 points better than his 2024 showing. That's it. And we'll see we're going to see what happens in a couple of weeks. I think it's in April the runoff is. So yeah, he probably does crack 40 in the runoff, but that's about it. Maybe. He's not going to win. So why are people panicking like this is a DEFCON 1 scenario? A DEFCON 1 scenario would have been, oh, Democrats got like 45% here. That would have been bad. But he spent all this money, still did not crack 40%. And by the way, do I have to remind everybody, Ohio's 6th district, let me pull this up. I got to remind everybody this, because every time somebody brings up a random special election, I just bring up this one seat. You want proof of the special elections? They, sometimes it can indicate some enthusiasm. Want proof it doesn't mean shit most of the time? Look at this. 2024, Ohio's 6th special congressional or special election in Ohio's 6th district. Michael Ruley won by like 9 points. There were only 59,000 votes here. That's it. And Michael Ruley won by only 9. Compared to what happened in November, well, look at that. Ruley won by 33. Special elections, they can indicate some enthusiasm, sure. But even in 2024, guys, in June of 2024, Democrats were falling apart. I think this is right after the Biden debate, I think. Or it might have been before it. I can't really remember. Let me pull this up. Okay, this was right before the debate, a couple weeks before it. But even then, at this point, Trump was clearly favored to win. He was going to win the election. So you're telling me that in the middle of Trump's, like, you could argue maybe not his peak, but like right before it, you're telling me that Democrats were actually going to secretly win or overperform by 20 points nationwide because it's random special? A reminder, a lot of these same people were pushing the same shit back then. Yeah. This is the proof that special elections don't mean shit. Most of the time. Could they once in a while? Maybe. But like 90% of the time, special elections don't really matter. A couple months later, the same race, Michael Ruley versus the Democrat, the same ticket, same exact set of circumstances, and Ruley won by 33. What does that tell you about special elections? So when you have people like David Giglio and Rich Barris running around and saying, guys, this random special election, Republicans underperformed, it's all over. Show them this and ask them, okay, why did Republicans win Ohio 6 by 33 then? When they only won it by 9, like 5 months prior. Why? This is proof special elections don't mean shit most of the time. Sometimes they can indicate some stuff, but even then, if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, look at look at the special elections last night. Look what happened in Prince William County, Virginia. I know that's a local election. The guy had a scandal, but still, Republicans flipped that seat. Look at these other races. Republicans overperformed in some areas, not everywhere, but they still overperformed in some areas. It just proves special elections don't really matter. And even then, go all the way back to 22. Democrats have repeatedly overperformed in every single special election up and down the ballot. To be fair to Bear Sigilio, it's not just one special election. Well, if this was the case, Republicans would have lost 24. They would have. There were like 20, 25-point swings across the board, and they still won. Every special election in 24 and 22, actually most of them, there are once in a while some decent ones for the GOP, but the majority of the time, Democrats got crushed, or Republicans got crushed, or underperformed big time. And they still won in 24. And even in 22, they underperformed, sure, but they still won. They still won the House, still won the popular vote. So yeah, again, special elections, they can mean something. If it's very high turnout, that's one thing. But even this special, really it wasn't. It was still pretty shitty turnout. The Democrat at 24 got more votes here than people that voted. And he only got 30% of the vote, or whatever it was, 35%. If this was full turnout, everybody voted, there's a good chance he would have underperformed based on what we're seeing. Republicans lost House seats at 24. Yeah, but that was a weird, down ballot, that was weird. So, okay, 22. Republicans underperformed then. They still won the House. So, that's the issue. Special elections, they don't mean shit. The same logic was applied in 24. It blew up in their face. Again, I'm not saying you should ignore every special election. Don't be some people where they just ignore everything and say, no, it's perfectly fine. No, this is still ridiculous that in Georgia's 14th, one of the most Republican seats in the country, we're still underperforming. Not as much as other seats, funny enough, but still. Democrats should not be doing this good, comparatively. No matter what seat it is. Republicans should be doing way better here. They still got to find a way to get their voters out to vote. They still clearly have a problem with early voting, especially. I have no clue what the solution is for that, but they got to find a way to fix this. They got to find a way to fix the election or the early vote problem, because even with the results last night, the election day vote was pretty good for the GOP. Just wasn't enough, and then early vote was pretty bad. So, to be honest, it's only underperformance because the amount of Republicans in the race. I mean, that's part of it, but still, Sean Harris did technically overperform. So, yeah, that was kind of this Georgia special. So yeah. But it's just wild to think that, yeah, people actually think that, oh, Democrats are going to have a generic ballot victory like 15 points because of this. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Charlie Kirk put a shit ton of effort into early vote and it worked. Yeah. But we don't got that now. And I don't know what the solution is. How do you deal with the fact that you lose Kirk? And that's part of the reason they killed him. He was so effective that they killed him because of it. How do you deal with this? How do you deal with the fact that Republicans still don't have an early vote solution? I don't know. Don't know what to say. There isn't a solution. Republicans would never care to show out to these random special elections because they have jobs. I mean, that's part of it, but still, the national GOP, they should be making a big deal about every special. Democrats do. Look at anytime there's a random ass special election and God knows where, it could be in Wyoming for like, I don't know, like dog catcher or some shit. They would make a big deal about it. That's the problem. Republicans have to find a way to just do the bare minimum. Just announce the world, make a big deal about it for at least a couple of weeks that, yeah, there is a, excuse me, there are special elections coming up and you have to vote in them. Oh, I missed a super chat. Excuse me. Jacob Martin for 10. Democrats' new campaign strategy, as they did in Virginia, and as Gavin Newsom has been doing on his podcast, is a campaign as moderates and then govern farther to the left than they've ever been before. Yeah. So don't fall for their shit. They're just going to run as not even moderates. They really can't. Because even Gavin Newsom is not running as a moderate. That's bullshit. But yeah, he's trying to appeal as a moderate or not batshit crazy. But in reality, the millisecond they take power, what do you think's going to happen? All right, again, folks, make sure to share the stream, like the stream, send super chats if you got questions. But yes, overall with last night's Georgia special election, I think Republicans, they didn't do as bad compared to other specials, even though Democrats outspent the big time here, which is just hilarious. I did not realize that they spent $4 million here and they still only slightly improved on their margins. But either way, I do think Republicans still got to find a way to get these people out to vote. How do you get Republican voters to vote? Even just 5% more, 5 to 10% higher turnout on the GOP side. That would solve so many problems in these specials. Because yes, Democrats would still overperform, but not as much. Let's see. Why isn't Scott Presser doing anything? I don't know. And to be fair, he's only one person, but still, it's like you got to find. There's got to be one big organization the GOP has to actually do with this shit. If Act Blue's gone, how are Democrats still raising this much money? It's still a thing. They're not raising as much as they used to. That's the big issue they got. Some of their candidates are, but that's about it. I know the solution, Rap. How about codify Trump's fucking policies? Yeah, that's part of it, I think. I do agree that part of this is because people are sick of the GOP existing. But at the same time, this still should not be the entire reason why. Again, if this was a slight underperformance or whatever, sure, whatever. That could cause, that could raise questions about, yeah, people are not voting because the Republican Party sucks. But still, there's got to be more effort in these races somehow. So yeah, if they would codify some of Trump's stuff, yeah, I agree. That would help a lot. But American Nerd for 6, breaking from Kelvin Coolidge Project. Oklahoma Congressman Kevin Hern has officially announced he's running the 2026 Oklahoma Senate race. That is huge. He's not the best congressman for Oklahoma, but he's the second best. He is like a B tier congressman. Let me pull this up actually. So just confirm that he's actually running. Kevin Hern. Where is it? Yeah, so Kevin Hern is running by the looks of it. Yep, it's official. Kevin Hern is running for the U.S. Senate, and we pull up the America First Insight scorecard. Scorecard. Kevin Hern. And then let me pull up McMullen, yeah. So I got it right here. So Mullen right now on the America First Insight scorecard, he is a B minus. I would argue though he's closer to like a C to C minus. But Mark Wayne Mullen to Kevin Hearn is an upgrade. That you are getting a slight to, I would say, moderate upgrade over Mullen. Again, Mullen's not as bad as like Lindsey Graham or whatever, but he's still, I would argue we're being kind of generous with his score. I think he's closer to a C tier, if that. But Kevin Hearn is a very solid congressman, and he would be an objective upgrade over Mullen. So I agree with that. Mullen is just kind of average. I agree. He's kind of just average, below average. America noted for 6. Wrap with the Virginia referendum fails. Democrats will pass it regardless because democracy. They really can't. That's a problem. They need it to pass through a referendum. Thune is principled. Yeah, that's Thune is a big problem. But yeah, so Kevin Hearn, you go from Mullen to Kevin Hearn. I like it. I think Hearn, you can do better in Oklahoma, but you can also do a lot worse. And you are getting a slight upgrade. Again, this is more proof of the GOP in the Senate. They're getting better. Like, you just vote in these primaries, and you can go from Mullen to Kevin Hearn. Or in Kentucky, Nate Morris is surging. And Cameron looks screwed. And I doubt Andy Barr's going to get backed by Trump. We'll see, I guess. But still, across the board, we are seeing Republicans improve in the Senate significantly. Look at Louisiana. You go from Cassidy to let lower potentially a Fleming. Like, this is why you vote in primaries. This is how you improve the GOP. Not by, again, I'm not saying every Republican deserves your vote. They don't. Dan Crenshaw doesn't. Lindsey Graham better keep his mouth shut. But, you change the GOP by voting in these primaries. That's what people don't understand. That's how you improve the GOP. America noted for 6. I read that already. Shit. Oklahoma's a mix of neocons like James Lankford and MAGA schizos like Ryan Walters. Yeah. There's no in between. Absolutely no in between with the Oklahoma GOP. Either really good or really shitty. Cassidy's not going to make the runoff. Yeah, and again, that's what I'm saying. Vote for Fleming. Fleming, Letlow's better than Cassidy, but Fleming, you go from a shit senator to somebody that's above average. That's pretty good. America noted for 2. If only we could get rid of Cornyn in the primary. I think John Cornyn's screwed. I mean, he's flip-flopping to the filibuster again. Now he's saying, oh, guys, I support abolishing the filibuster, but actually I don't. No, I want reform. And Trump is apparently pissed. He is apparently furious with John Thune and especially John Cornyn. So we'll see. We shall see what happens in Texas, but I think John Cornyn's in big trouble now. He's flip-flopping the filibuster again, and John Thune fucked himself now. All he had to do was convince just only 50 of the 51 GOP senators to do something. That's all he had to do, and he couldn't even do that. Part of it I know is Mitch McConnell being a dumb shit, but still, you have some leeway, and you still cannot get this through. It's pathetic. Rap, I'm worried about Ken Paxton's scandal. I know it's a serious concern, but I don't think it's real. I from everything I've heard, it just does not seem like that legitimate or credible. I just don't think so. I could be wrong, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah, Paxton gave them an out. If they would have just got the Save America Act through, he would have dropped out. But nope, they couldn't help themselves. Yeah, the scandal will do nothing to Paxton. And like the newest one I did hear could be bad. Like it could be the worst of the worst technically, but even then, he's gone through a lot of bad shit. Just fine. Rap, is the APAC tracker a legitimate tool for voting for or against a candidate? Obviously, there's many older Americans who like Israel, many more so than younger Americans, but there's no China tracker. APAC trackers, just ignore it. Do your own research. Guys, the whole point of trackers elect Marxists. I'm not even joking. So again, like, do your own research. What lobbies are backing who? Then don't listen to just one individual tracker. Even the America First Insight Scorecard, I would argue, look more. Look, do your own research. Who is endorsing these candidates? That's how you figure out who's good or not. Like, look at Numbers USA. Look at these other scorecards. There's more than just one individual tracker or whatever. So, yeah. That's what I would say to that. Let's see. The thing with the filibuster is I'm afraid if they get rid of it, they'll come back to bite Republicans. Democrats are getting rid of it anyways. Who cares? Who gives a shit? They're going to get rid of it anyways. So why not try to nuke it now? When you have a chance of actually getting rid of it. All right. Hey, Rap, if the Virginia referendum does pass, do you think it's possible any of the 4 Republicans can win their districts and upset victory? Kiggins might have the best chance. But still, you got to find a way to just beat the referendum. And there's still a chance the court does something about it, but they haven't done anything yet. So. My libertarian friend was talking about, Thomas Massie doesn't take any APAC money. He's the only politician with principles. Well, okay, here's what I'll say to that. And this is the issue with this whole thing. Yes, it's a big issue. I think APAC should be banned. I've always had the belief I think APAC has way too much power and they have some very sketchy ties. But at the same time, okay, APAC doesn't give him money. They don't give money to Ilhan Omar or AOC. Are they principled? Are they conservative? And you can keep going. I think Luna from Florida is backed by APAC, technically. Does that make her, F-tier congressman? No. Or congresswoman? No. Like, yes, APAC backing a candidate should, raise questions to a point. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure APAC revoked their endorsement of Randy Fine because he was too extreme. So that there's more nuance to it. There's way more nuance than just, what one group says. I think they should be banned. I think they are illegally a foreign lobby in the United States. So. Josh has joined the channel. Thank you so much, good sir. But yeah, that's my take on APAC. I think it should be banned, but you gotta look more into who else is backing them, why they're being backed, why are they being backed by even APAC. Yeah, I agree. Ban all foreign influence. I 100% agree. I think this is common sense. And there's laws in the books already that's supposed to prevent that, but we don't enforce them. So, and I agree, there should be bans on it. I completely agree. All foreign lobbying should be banned. Joshua 2, is a Thune called Mitch's bitch for a reason? Yeah. That's his actual nickname. Let's see. Alex for 5. Hot take. I'll take a loss in 2020 if it guarantees me red wave in 2030 with more controlled state legislators who have more controlled redistricting. Hell no. That is, again, I don't think people realize how much of a threat Democrats winning 2028 would be. Because if Vance loses, there's a good chance that Republicans lost the House and possibly are 50-50 in the Senate. If that. And if Democrats take control, Look what happened under Biden. But imagine 10 times worse. It's going to be 10 times worse than was under Biden. Look at the southern border. It'd be wide open. They would ram through amnesty. That's the issue. So again, I agree that Republicans have to, like, some Republicans don't deserve your vote. Sure. But you cannot, like, I still look at the logic, like, okay, let's say Democrats do win 26 to 28. Okay. What's the plan then? What's the strategy for how you're going to win? Because Democrats, they're going to probably have a trifecta. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're more than likely going to pass through amnesty, give rid of all of Trump's tax cuts, give illegals the right to vote, all the shit. So what's the plan here? Like, because I'm confused. And you think it was bad with the Biden DOJ going after random people? It would be made 1,000 times worse. Democrats are already saying if they win, they're going to lock up every single person involved with ICE. Anybody that supports Trump, they're going after. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the plan here? If anybody can explain, like, let me know, like, because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure what the plan is. And, like, how does this actually, like, win in the long term? I don't get it. You don't have to like the GOP, fine. I don't know. Even if Democrats won 2028, it would be a guarantee us 2030. Republicans would still probably have a turnout issue. Yeah, you think Republicans have a turnout issue now? If Democrats take control, you know what's going to happen? Republicans are going to stop voting. And there you go. You're fucked. You just fucked yourself over for possibly ever by doing that strategy. Like, listen, if Democrats actually moderated, you can make an argument, fine, like protest vote, whatever. They've gotten more extreme on every single issue. There is not a single issue they've moderated on. Hell, issues like the transgender stuff, they just don't talk about it anymore. That does not mean they're opposed to it now. They just realize, politically speaking, it's stupid. So that's why people just got to chill out about, like, listen, I'm writing a whole article on this, why the case for voting Republican. Again, the whole argument is like, yeah, Republicans suck, but look at the opposition. That's what you get with the opposition. Republicans only show up when Democrats piss them off, and win at 28 will be a kick in the hornet's nest. Yeah. I mean, like, but even that, I don't know. Like, okay, you lose on purpose or whatever. 2030, Republicans are not going to vote. They're just not going to vote. And plus, how do you know the GOP is going to get better? You can argue, look after 2022. Look at what happened after 2012. After Republicans got embarrassed, they try to change course in the opposite direction. No, if we become more liberal on immigration, we'll win. You're not going to make the GOP better by losing. You're going to make it better by winning with good candidates. Replacing shit ones like Tony Gonzalez and Dan Crenshaw with Steve Toth and Brandon Herrera. Real TV show for 5. Did you see Massie's new campaign video? The first thing you see is Trump with Massie, said Trump's candidate, and Massie's now a pro-Trumper. Yeah, let me pull this up. All these people make a big deal about how, like, principled Massie is. You want proof this guy's full of shit? This is a real video that he posted. This is real. Let me pull this up. There we go. So, thank you for bringing this up, real TV show. I forgot to mention this. Like, this is who, like, people are trying to, like, get behind. Like, this is Thomas Massie who ran this ad, okay? So you would think with it being his own ad, it would be bashing Trump and be consistent with what he's saying. Well, this is what he ran.
I'm Thomas Massie, and I approve this message.
Woke Eddie Gowrine and liberal out-of-state special interest groups have run millions in ads trying to tell you how pro-Trump he is. But what they haven't told you is woke Eddie Gowrine abandoned President Trump.
Look at this. This is a real ad. I should probably like mute this so I don't get like copyrighted. Look at this. Here, Ed Gowrine is not actually pro-Trump. He abandoned Trump's GOP. Look at this. Of his mega duty, woke Eddie left the GOP. This is a pro-Massie ad. I'm not even joking. This is a pro-Thomas Massie ad. The mega movement's taking off. Yeah, we're gonna fight for Trump. This is really a Thomas Massie ad. And now, Thomas Massie's the real MAGA pro-Trump patriot. Like, unbelievable. They're not even this is real. There's no shame in the Thomas Massie campaign. And that's what Massie's doing. People on the ground can confirm this. In Kentucky, when he's not on Twitter saying dumb shit, or in DC calling Trump a pedo protector, he's running around his own district saying, I'm the most pro-Trump person ever. I am MAGA to the extreme. I vote with Trump 100% of the time. I love Trump. I'm the real MAGA patriot. So you're telling me Rich Barris and Robert Barnes are claiming Trump is unpopular, even in Kentucky. Everybody hates his guts. His endorsements are a negative now. But now, Thomas Massie's entire campaign is how he's a true MAGA patriot. He's going to back Trump, and this other guy is woke and he's anti-Trump. Unbelievable. This is the principled candidate, everybody. I thought this was a joke. It's real. Again, that's how he campaigns, by the way. When he's not in Kentucky, he bashes Trump constantly. So morons on Twitter can like retweet it and he gets 10 million views. But when he's in Kentucky talking to his own voters, magically, he is pro-Trump and oh my gosh, I'm a Trump loyalist. Fuck off. I'm so sick and tired of people saying Thomas Massie's this principled guy. Does this look principled to you? American Nerd for 10. In a perfect world, there would be a third option from both the stupidity of the Republicans and the insanity of the Democrats. We don't live in a perfect world, so we'll take a chance of the GOP. Yeah, I agree. If there was a legitimate option, we could talk, but there's not. You got the GOP or you got Democrats. No in between. It is wild that this is real. But you think this is pathetic? And by the way, this is like within minutes of him running his campaign ad. Want to see something very dumb? So Thomas Massie, within like 5 minutes of releasing this ad, which aired in Kentucky, I believe, he posted this. A real tweet. They're paying to bus people to the Trump event in my congressional district. What they'll discover is Trump fans in Kentucky and across the entire Commonwealth also support my work on the Epstein files, reining in spending, ending forever wars, draining the swamp, and food freedom. Which, by the way, does this sound like Robert Barnes to you, to anybody? This sounds exactly like the shit Robert Barnes is saying, which should make you really wonder about, that's weird. Why does this sound like a Robert Barnes tweet? But okay, whatever. He posted this. Well, you may notice something very strange about this image, okay? He's alleging that people are being paid off to go to this rally. Here's a question. Let me pull this up actually in a full screen. Why is he blacking out certain parts? Notice the parts he blacked out? I wonder why. Take the blank to a Trump rally. I wonder what's going on here. Well, here's what actually he covered. He's trying to make it sound like, oh, Trump is desperate. He's paying people off to try to get people to his rally, okay? Like, oh my gosh, Trump's support is dying and he has to pay people off and all this stuff. Guess what? This was for the Andy Barr campaign. Take the Barr bus to a Trump rally. Yeah. Look at this. This is real, by the way. Let me zoom in. This was an advertisement from the Barr campaign. They were going to bus people to the Trump rally. Like Barr supporters, they were going to bus them to the Trump rally. Andy Barr, who, by the way, has not been backed by Trump at all. So this is Trump secretly paying off Andy Barr. Really? This is a real thing, by the way. He was trying to spin this as the MAGA cult is trying to pay off people because they're unpopular to go to the rally. Turns out it was a random candidate in Andy Barr. And he blacked it out to make it seem like it was Trump himself that's so desperate for support. Fuck off with this. I'm getting so sick and tired of Thomas Massie and his shit. It is ridiculous. Andy Barr is not, as of now at least, not backed by Trump. And he tried to spin this as a Trump conspiracy or some shit. It sounds exactly like Robert Barnes' Food Freeman is like his verbiage. Yeah. I have a gut feeling that poll they sponsored a couple weeks ago, that was a Massie internal that they did not disclose. That's just my theory, but I don't know. The political deal for two and the Addy docs Gilleran's home address. Wait, what? Are you serious? I did not know that. Wow, it's just unbelievable that this is the Massie campaign. Guys, did you know Andy Barr's like, he's being paid off by Trump, everybody. No, he's just trying to be seen as a Trump candidate, you dumb shit. And he knows this. And you notice how he's trying to play both sides? When he's not actively in Kentucky, he's bashing Trump, calling him a pedo protector, worse than Epstein, all this other shit. But then 5 minutes later, when he's in Kentucky campaigning, he is a MAGA patriot. It is bullshit. It is a scam. I do not vote for Thomas Massie. Listen, I'm not even saying this replacement will be good. I don't know. We shall see. But how can anyone really think we should vote for this guy? It's wow. Wow. When I first saw this, I thought it was a joke. But no, he actually posted this. And look at this. It has 400,000 views, 19,000 likes on his official account. Yeah, like he blacked all this shit out so it looks like he's good. Trump's paying people off to go to the rally. Why did he black this part out right here? Why? Isn't that strange? Isn't that very strange he blacked that out? You have to really question Thomas Massie's intentions with this. And by the way, Thomas Massie is going to be in deep shit because when he gets crushed late in a couple of weeks, it's going to be one of the biggest embarrassments for a sitting congressman, possibly worse than Dan Crenshaw. It's going to be an embarrassment. Because guess what? Trump's doing the rally today in Kentucky, and already there are thousands of people in line already ready to go. So people like Robert Barnes and Barris, they have convinced themselves that Thomas Massie's more popular than Trump, and he's going to win by 30 points. Could he still win? Sure. But if he loses by 40 points, how are these people going to react? I fear for the sanity of this country that because a lot of people are convinced Thomas Massie can never lose. He's actually beloved by the average person. Yeah, sure. Then why is he having to back Trump in Kentucky? Why? If he's like more popular than Trump and he does not need his support. In fact, no, Trump's endorsement of Ed helps Massie. Why is he trying to run as a Trump candidate in Kentucky? Why? It's as if these people are full of shit. They're full of it. I think Massie will do better than some people think, but he's still going to get crushed. He might, sure. But I have a feeling this is Liz Cheney 2.0. Is it the Kentucky primary in May? Yes. So again, he could still win, of course, but I don't think he's going to. Trump is putting way too much time and effort in this race. It's not going to happen. Massie primary stream will feed millions. Yeah, I still think my favorite primary stream from 2022 was probably the Liz Cheney one. So it's probably, I hope it's Liz Cheney too. Yeah, I'm curious. How is this going to go in the primary? We'll see in a couple weeks. I think it's in May. So, but all right, everybody. If anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls for super chats. Last calls for super chats. Is a Kentucky pretty libertarian state? Not really. It's not really libertarian state, yet it votes for libertarians. It's weird, but we're gonna see. He'll probably lose by 10 because NPCs don't like voting out incumbents. I disagree with that. Liz Cheney got obliterated. Same thing with Crenshaw. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, I mean, it's just wild to think that Thomas Massie, again, he can still win. I'm not even denying that. But right now, reality is going to strike a lot of people in hard when they realize their shit's not popular or mainstream. I just want to see Robert Barnes cry when Massie loses. Well, again, what's their plan here? If they lose by 30, how can anyone listen to Robert Barnes or Barris ever again? How? Because their entire plan for 26 was for Thomas Massie to win by 30. If he loses by 30, that will be one of the biggest embarrassments they've ever had. So, how good is Gellerin? I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about the guy. That's what I'm saying. He might be bad. I don't know. But mixed on a Democrat wins MTG's primary election. Oh, here we go with this shit, guys. There are 10 Republicans running. It's a jungle primary. It's a jungle primary. Republicans still combined for 60% of the vote. So, K-Comfort 2 just got here. What did I miss? We talked with Thomas Massie running as a pro-Trump candidate now, which is fucking hilarious. But he's still bashing Trump. Whenever he's not bashing Trump on Twitter, he's running as pro-Trump. So, we'll see. Well, yeah, I'm not even denying that AIPAC is spending a lot of money against Massie, and I agree that should be banned. I've said this for years. AIPAC should not exist in its current form. It should not exist. But it's not gonna be just because of AIPAC, and that's gonna be the dumbest thing ever. If Massie does lose by 30, they're gonna blame AIPAC for it. When in reality, no, just people got sick of his shit. We'll see though. But yeah, I think APAC should be banned still. All right, everybody. I think that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today.